All right.
Welcome back to Developed, everybody. Tonight we're talking about our recipe. What is it? Fuck. Oh, the Teleos. Teleos of milk.
Yeah.
Our remix of it. I forgot about it. We were talking about something different earlier. But anyway, yeah, we're talking about Teleos the milk, our version of it, and how it compares to the original. So, how you doing, Folkart?
I'm doing good, man. What about you?
Folkart had to do his taxes. He's lying.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yeah, I've been doing my taxes for the last couple of days, and my mind's about ready to explode. So, other than that, I'm doing good. Been mixing up a little bit. What about you, Alfred?
I'm doing well. Minus, you ever had your eye, like your eyelid, just start twitching? It's kind of the worst. So I'm dealing with that right now. Yeah, I'm just so fucking stressed out by you guys. It just gets to me. Other than that, though, everything's going well. I just made a new thing that you have to try later, Folkart, and that's about it for me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that. It sounds interesting.
Do we not get to try it? The rest of us?
Yeah, no, you're not allowed. Well, specifically, you're not allowed to try it, Graham. Graham, how are you? How's your day going? What's up?
Oh, it's all right. I'm actually not running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but that's because I refuse to do anything responsible. I don't know.
I mean, you showed up here. That's like pretty responsible of you.
I was pretty early too.
You deserve all the credit for that.
Yeah.
And finally, the newest member of the developed team, straight from Argentina, Nachef.
¡Hey! Buenas noches. ¿Cómo están?
Welcome.
I was told this was going to be in English. In Spanish, I mean.
Oops.
Yeah,
right?
so what he said at the beginning there was that he had some eggs for breakfast, and they were pretty all right. He broke a yolk, but that's whatever.
Wow, I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
Yeah, I think we all kind of, we're learning.
Yeah. I'm learning English, so be patient.
I think what he just said means be patient.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was English? All right.
Yeah, some kind of. Sort of. How are you?
Well,
what have you been up to? How's your day going?
Great. I was trying some new flavors from Vape Train. I was mixing and trying
Yogurt
the milk.
drink?
Yogurt drink, 6% from.
Nothing better.
This is great.
tell me
This
about
is
Argentina,
great.
dude. How's mixing in Argentina? Like, how hard is it to get flavors and break it down to me?
Get flavors is not very good. We are in a gray area about legislation right now, so you don't have official places selling flavors. You need to import them yourself through DHL, FedEx, or whatever. You have to pay a lot of money and wait like a month. Basically,
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to get them in.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Do you go to like directly to TFA, directly to Flavor West, or do you go to like Bull City
No.
and have them ship it? Will they ship it?
Yeah,
Well,
Bull
right?
City
They
and
will?
those places. So you can ship it to Miami or something like that, and then ship it to Argentina. Yeah.
He has someone that has to like transfer it.
You access to more, or you're probably better at getting more shit than we are, probably, huh? You know what I mean? Like you're used to, like you probably have access to more stuff, is what I'm saying. Like, do you
In
only
which
go
way?
to Bull City? Do you only go to Bull
No, I
City?
only go to Bull City. Yeah, I only go to Bull City. And Flabora, we have an official distributor for Flabora here. It's the
Okay,
only
so
brand
lives there.
that we have an official seller in Argentina.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
Can you go to
They're good at that.
So, do you go to any other websites or anything like DIYVaporSupply.com or anything like that?
I love that you're always just ready to plug it. I really.
That was slick. That was slick, Max.
I'm just wondering. People are in the chat asking, so I had to.
Do you know about DIY Vapor Supply, Nachef?
What?
Do you know about DIY Vapor Supply?
Yeah, of course.
You're aware of it? What do they call it there?
DIY
Do they call it something different there or no?
No, it's
all
the same.
The same thing. What's it called?
Yeah. Why Vapor Supply?
Yeah, .com. Yeah, .com.
.com. Yeah, of course.
I order from them at least twice a week.
Less shipping cost. So we don't buy from this and then from this and then from this.
I heard they're shipping to you for free. They're that kind of company.
That's just a lie. That's just a straight up lie.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's actually the case, but
to Argentina, yeah.
Hey, Raven Shadow just got yogurt drink too. Mixed it up at 6%. Enjoy yourself.
Allegedly.
We were just talking about that for quite a length of time before we actually started going live. Yeah. Yogurt drink is so fucking good. Everybody should buy it. Just mix it up at 6%.
Yeah.
I always keep it around.
But we did find an actual use for it with the Mega Fruit smoothie, which was perfect.
Yeah, that recipe needed it, which, you know, most of the time I wouldn't probably choose to work with it. I'd probably just vape it on its own. But that was a particular recipe where I actually did want to use it. But, yeah.
Yeah, I actually tried it in a lemon tart recipe this past week, and it didn't really work in it.
No.
Yeah.
It's too refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how does it work with bakeries or anything, like a kind of like a breadiness or.
Well, I was hoping that it would, but in this particular mix, it didn't really work. So.
I actually did make a bakery thing with it one time, but then I had to just contemplate life and if it was better than vaping it by itself. So I decided not to release it. But I used just cat buttercream and yogurt drink, and then Wonder Flavor shortbread cookie. Just 3 flavors to make like a recreation of Girl Scout lemonade cookies, where they have like that lemon wax frosting on the bottom, and it worked fine. But I still prefer solo 6% yogurt drink.
Yeah,
I've never heard of lemonade cookies before.
They are the best Girl Scout cookie.
You froze. That was amazing.
I was wondering what was going on. I thought I did that because I hit the button.
I thought he died. I thought he short circuited right there.
I thought, oh no!
Wait, did you not hear me either?
You got really excited and said they're the best, which is a total lie because Samoa cookies are the best, and I will.
No. The lemonade cookies are my jam.
Well,
they're just a straight up shortbread cookie with like lemon, the exact flavor of yogurt drink coating the bottom of them.
I don't know if I believe that.
Try one.
I've never heard of them. I've never even seen them.
That's because they're the most underrated Girl Scout cookie ever. The one-on-one version, Dave says, is disgusting. But my version was still not as good as the yogurt drink by itself.
TFA makes one
version. Yeah, TFA makes lemonade cookie.
Yeah, but isn't that the same kind of thing?
Yeah, they're all based on the Girl Scout cookie, which is the best. See, Dave agrees. They're amazing.
They're the best, though.
Early Scout system.
For me, because I have such a passionate relationship with lemon, they're the best for me.
I wish you would have said I have a passionate relationship with Girl Scouts, and then you froze. I wish.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like you were going to go a different way, and then you kind of fixed it at the end.
Samoas are pretty fucking good and easily second place for me. But I just love lemon things so much.
Tagalongs are pretty overrated.
What is a tagalong?
Rich cinnamon. More than rich cinnamon. He says so.
Rich cinnamon what?
I said the yogurt drink is up there with rich cinnamon for me as the best flavor ever.
Well,
rich cinnamon's the best flavor for you?
Yes, I'm part of the Rich Cinnamon Masons.
What are you? What kind of animal are you? What do you mean? What do you use it in? How much do you use it?
I used it in, I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a cola recipe out there that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I think it might have won first best recipe of 2017 on Reddit or something like that.
Yeah.
Unapologetically cocky you just got right there. That was beautiful.
Have you tried toasted? It's a pretty.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it
recipe.
is. I agree. It's a good flavor. It's useful where it's used at, but the best flavor though.
Yeah, it makes those things fucking phenomenal. It takes a recipe from pretty great to phenomenal.
So let's say we take it away with cinnamon. Are you an average mixer?
Yeah, I would be.
Really?
That's like cutting off my legs. I need rich cinnamon to survive.
Okay.
Say that again, but slow.
I need rich cinnamon.
I never knew that about you. You learn something new every day. All right. Okay. I'm gonna use it more now because I trust you.
I'm telling you, any place that like you could find a use for cinnamon, rich cinnamon will elevate your recipe. 100%.
I think you use 1 drop. What do you think about
And
that?
it's that like you only have to use a single drop in a 30 mil and you can still find it.
Whoa, calm down, Alfred.
I just love it, Max.
You're like struggling to talk for a minute. Like, whoa, yeah, whoa.
I got really excited. I get excited about rich cinnamon.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Mr. Burgundy agrees too.
Well, he always gonna agree with that.
I mean, come on, the guy he agrees with everything.
I mean, you know, fucking Burgundy.
All right. Well, what's your best flavor ever then?
I don't know. I change it weekly because I have no loyalty whatsoever.
See?
Yeah.
What else? What else? Anybody else?
I don't know.
You know, I'm from the
Red cinnamon.
vanilla sweet religion.
Yeah. Nachef is a member of the Vanilla Swirl Illuminati, and we debate all the time about it.
I swear to God, the
Vanilla
Illuminati.
swirl
Most of
all
it
the
look
way. All the way.
I mean, I like vanilla swirl and I like rich cinnamon, but I can't say I'm on either side.
Non-committal.
Or both. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle.
I don't know. I'm not gonna agree with you.
Yeah, they're both okay.
I don't like
I
either
don't know.
one.
Yeah, they're all right.
They're average.
Yeah. Get off my back.
What about you, Folk Art? That's really interesting for me. What would you say is your favorite flavor ever?
I've actually started a new group of followers, and we all worship Flavora Yam.
Oh, that's so good. That's not even fair.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
So what is your group called then?
The Yamanites.
Oh.
It's even got an amazing name.
Yeah.
I've never been so conflicted.
Well, I want my own group then. Then I got to go with Native. We're the Natives.
The Larry
Oh,
Davids.
go Native. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's gonna.
We should make a mix with Vanilla Swirl, Rich Cinnamon, and Flavora Yam. The trifecta.
No native.
Ooh.
A Native.
Yeah, no native.
You just forget fucking Max. I always forget.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get on board with that. Or
All right.
we probably could have done it with that terrible cereal, but
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what cereal you tried, but the one we tried was not terrible.
oh, I tried the same one. I didn't love it.
Yeah, it's
But-
all right.
Every time I vaped it, I just wanted to vape the sweet potato pie, which I'm actually
And I told you that's not a fair comparison ever. The
It's not a
sweet potato
fucking
pie
thing,
is the
man. It's a
best thing ever.
yeah. It's just not a thing. You can't go. I like this, but I like that better, so I hate this. Can't
Thank
do
you, Graham.
I think I can. I think I'm allowed to.
that.
You sound like a baby bird hatching.
Larry Davids. That's your group. That's what you're called.
Yeah.
Larry David.
Well, there's a couple of us out
You
there.
want to start running through? This time we were just going to talk about some stuff we're working on by ourselves, and
When did we decide that? That's
at the beginning, Graham, where were you?
Yeah. That's right. I wasn't aware of that.
So-
Sorry, Alfred. Jesus Christ. Like, a little aggressive there.
So, Alfred, can you talk some about what you've been working on, or you want to keep it secret?
Yeah. No. I was talking earlier with Dave in the Reddit Discord because I want to find uses for FA corn that aren't just like, oh, I made this pudding and then here's FA corn on top and now it's corn pudding. I wanted to find ways to make stuff with the corn as the base of the whole recipe. And so Dave was suggesting a cornbread with bourbon sauce. And so I decided I would try to make a corn cake with brown sugar bourbon sauce. And it's my cake layer, my patent pending cake layer, which is Wonder Flavors Angel Cake 1-on-1 cornbread and Jungle Flavors Yellow Cake. and then Flavora bourbon at a tiny % with TFA Kentucky bourbon, 1-on-1 brown sugar, and then FA corn, the basis.
That sounds pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but it's pretty good so far. I when I first started though, I had a feeling I was gonna want to increase the 1-on-1 cornbread because it does that mealy cornbread texture of like cornmeal really well, and I want to make sure I get that texture right because that's kind of the whole thing that makes cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you said you're gonna try it and tell me what you think if it should go up.
I am. This type of profile is right up my alley, so I'm looking forward to mixing it up for sure. Absolutely. Now the recipe that you sent me, it looks like you used 101 cake batter. Is that right?
Did I type cake batter?
Yeah.
I meant cornbread.
Okay. All right.
I had them abbreviated in my notes to just CB, so I probably just.
I was thinking, well, I've never heard of 101 cake batter.
I have 1-on-1 cake batter. Don't ever buy it. It's so bad.
Okay.
It's the worst.
The Losi cake batter, this happens to be really fucking good, though. It's actually like an actual cake batter.
Dave is saying to add a touch of Flavora cupcake batter in there.
Or that.
But he says to get the cake a little wetter, and that's kind of the opposite. Like, the version I have right now is almost too, like, creamy and wet with the bourbon and the corn and everything kind of softening.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that'd make it phenomenal.
I'm looking forward to mixing it up.
All right, what about you, Fogart? You said you wanted to talk about something you're working on, right?
I'll talk about it just a little bit. I've touched on it a couple times on the show, I think. I love to torture myself. I went after a chocolate for years. Took me years to come up with 2 pretty good chocolates. So now I'm in the process of torturing myself with peanut butters. And I've just about got it right, I believe. And so I've got, what I was wanting to do was just create a peanut butter layer. But I don't think I'm going to release the layer itself. I want to do something with it. So after I got the layer kind of where I want, I thought, well, what can I do with this? And I know it's not really the season for doing this kind of thing, and I may wait a while before I make it public. But I decided to make a peanut butter pie, and it's pretty damn good. I'm using TPA DX peanut butter. That's probably the best peanut butter out right now. And I'm also using just a touch of Hanson's peanut butter. It's got it's got that peanut skin kind of thing going on, but it's not as bad as most of them. So I'm using it pretty low. I'm using some TPA vanilla swirl to try to round out the rough edges just a little bit. And yeah, just some other bakeries and butterscotches and stuff. So that's what I've been working on.
You should name it Bop.
Name it what?
For the use of Hanson.
For using Hanson, that is a Hail Mary name. I love it. I do have an idea for something you could try, though. I've noticed that Flavor West white chocolate is pretty heavy on the pyrazine content, and that could help you with that creaminess that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have tried that when I was working on that layer, just the layer by itself, and it did seem to work pretty well. I also tried some other chocolates, not white chocolate, but some other. Well, I tried 2 different white chocolates. And it seems to work pretty good, but it was something about it. It was almost like it was too frosty. It's like a frosting, you know.
Yeah, it's very sweet and thick.
I was hoping that the vanilla swirl would kind of do the same thing, but without bringing that frosting note in there. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still testing, so we'll see how it works out.
What about you, Nachef? You've been working on anything on your own that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've been working in a orange bitter.
Like orange bitters?
Yeah. Well, there's a drink, an Italian drink called Campari that is based in orange bitter. And there's a drink that is orange juice and Campari. And I'm using Flavora Back Bar bitters, Flavora Bourbon, Morning Mimosa, and Orange Citrus. But
Gringos say Campari. That's how we say it.
Campari.
It's Campari.
Yeah, well, Campari. Yeah, Campari.
Same thing.
And it needs a lot of work.
Yeah, but I've heard that the back bar bitters is really good at making the zesty part of like a citrus flavor stand out.
Yeah, but it has a lot of herbs in the background, like an Angostura bitters. Yeah. So when you mix it with an orange, it's hard to compensate that. To have the orange forward.
So it doesn't work, or it works now?
Yeah. I'm curious. You said it needs a lot of work. What's not working there?
Well, I don't get a good balance between the bitters and the orange. I don't know if orange citrus is the best, and Morning Mimosa is okay, but between the bitters, the bourbon and the mimosa is too much alcohol.
Oh yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Max? I have the thing ready to go.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been working on something that it was the first recipe that I ever posted on all the flavors, and then I took it down like immediately, and I just wasn't happy with it. And it was a coconut bubble tea, and I didn't have the right flavors at the time. And looking back at that recipe, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? So I just made like a personal goal to try to remake that, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm still playing around with a couple things, but I actually kind of like version 1 the most.
Is that the one you gave me?
I believe so, yeah.
I just tried it, Max.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because you used 0.25% of FA coconut and like 0.5% of Flavor Sweet coconut, something like that, right?
Yeah, so that layer actually comes from hash slinging slasher, that coco de leche, which is incredible. Everybody should try that mix. If you like coconut and you like the real thing, it is the real thing. It's so fucking accurate and it's delicious. But it comes from that pairing, and I just dialed it down like a lot. So I used like a third of what he actually uses it, but it's the same ratio. And I don't like Flavora Sweet Coconut at all, but the two of them together make a really good creamy coconut that I really do like how it blends with the creams. And it's basically just, I don't have the recipe pulled up right now, but I believe I used the sweet coconut, the FA coconut, Bavarian cream, New York cheesecake,
TFA sweet tea.
TFA sweet tea, and Vape Train sugarcane.
Yep. And
Vape Train sugarcane and TFA sweet tea are probably my favorite things to put together for a iced tea base. It just makes it kind of pop, because the sugarcane is kind of earthy in a way, but it's also kind of honey-like. They just kind of work together. And I've done it multiple times with different fruits and everything, so I just went with that. Everything kind of fell into place.
Max, it's seriously fucking phenomenal.
Cool.
Thank you.
No, this is stupid good, Max.
I'm glad, because the first version was not very good, and I'm really glad, because I thought it was really well balanced between how much cream comes out, which the cream actually comes from all of the testing to try to make a cream for the Teleos mix. And I went through probably 12 to 15 different versions, all different flavors and everything. So I used 3 different layers, which obviously the coconut came from hash, but no, there is no tapioca. It's more of like an actual milk tea. There's no tapioca in it. I thought that would be too much an off note to try to put that in there, but yeah.
Max, this is absurdly good.
It doesn't really make sense why the New York cheesecake works in there, but it actually does help with the coconut.
There are 2 things that are blowing my mind. The first is the coconut is so evident at such a tiny percentage. Like, it's the perfect amount of coconut for a milk tea. And the second part is, you're right, the sugarcane adds both a sweet, like very sweet honey thing, and the bitter edge to the tea to like elevate that and make it stand out. Yeah, it's seriously incredible.
I think
what coconut are you using?
I used FA coconut, at what, like 0.25, I think, and sweet coconut, I think at like 0.75. And then sweet tea, TPA sweet tea, I think I used at like 11%, which I know it's a weird percentage, but
no, it's about right for that.
Yeah, right. But there was a difference between 10 and 12, and I was just like 11. And then I went with, I think, 0.25% sugarcane, I think.
You said you had a question about it. What did you want to talk about?
Oh, the New York cheesecake. I went through so many different versions. I actually have a little bit of it with Flavora cream, thinking that, you know, that makes more sense. But I kept going back to the New York cheesecake one, and I actually really like that. It doesn't make sense why the Flavora cream one's not as good. You would think it would be better. You'd think that all those creams would work better with each other, but they don't work as well as a New York cheesecake.
It's the coconut.
Yeah,
the coconut part and the New York cheesecake blend perfectly here.
Yeah, it's almost like you did take a little bit of that cocoa de leche flavor and made like a tea with it. So kind of like if you're gonna make like a Thai tea, but you actually used a little bit of that instead of sweetened condensed milk. It's kind of a weird recipe, and that was actually version 1 that you're vaping.
It's perfect. Awesome. Like this is the most authentic tea flavor I've ever gotten from like a mixed tea.
Yeah, I think it's the sweet tea and the sugar cane. That literally has not failed me yet. I really like that one.
So
11% and 0.25%.
So when are you going to make that recipe public?
I'm going to probably see if I try anything else that makes it better, and I'll probably just make it public. It is probably going to be version 1. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess I just nailed it on the first one, and I don't know why I picked up New York cheesecake over some of the other cream bases that I went with, but yeah, I think that that's the best one for that. It really works with that coconut, and I just fucking love it.
It's so fucking good. There's not a single thing I would change.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I'll probably make it public. I just want to play around with it a little bit more. Yeah.
What's the cheesecake at?
I think 0.75. I think so. I should
try like 0.5.
I did, and I went back up. So I originally did it at 0.75, and then I tried it down, and then I had FA Bavarian cream a lot lower, but yeah, I liked it there. Yeah.
Well, it sounds delicious. I can't wait to try it out, man.
Yeah, there's just this occasional time, like I'll take a vape and I'll get like a hint of, oh, there's cheesecake in here.
Yeah,
but most of the time it's gone. And this hasn't steeped. I just made it. So maybe steeping will blend that coconut and cheesecake like to be even more perfect. But I wouldn't change anything else at all.
Yeah, I don't know it's going to be like steeping it, because I actually vaped like that 10 mil in the first 2 days. So I'm probably going to remix this up and then check out how that works. But there was a little bit of like I did get a weird off note. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't even the New York cheesecake. I think it was something going on with the coconut. But
are you sure that's not your sweet coconut hatred?
You know, it probably is. I get chewed up bubblegum from that flavor, and I can't explain that.
Yeah, I don't get any sort of off note from this at all. Yeah. It's just that tiny hint of sometimes I'm like, oh, is that cheesecake in there? Other than that, though, it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Wow. What about you, Graham? You working on anything?
Yeah, I'm working orange soda, pineapple soda, grape soda, and then I'll probably do all 3 of those at once.
That's with the fizzy sherb?
No, the fizzy sherb is for the fun dip. What do you mean? Which one? Well, yeah, the pineapple soda has.
No. I was just curious what you're doing to make it a soda versus just a juice.
It was a citrus soda.
Oh, you're using the flavor on citrus soda?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's going. It's kind
of. Oops. I think we lost Graham.
No, he's
now I'm back.
Yeah, you just muted yourself.
Yeah, it's working. It's basically working in everything. The citrus soda, in all those, and then also the Fun Dip.
Emily wants to know if you're using Shisha Orange.
Of course.
Ooh, and
Shisha Orange, Tangy Orange, and Vape Train's Orange Tang.
Oh, yeah.
Soda.
I'm so glad I picked up orange shisha.
Yeah, it's good, right?
It's so good.
Yeah, with the tangy, the Capella Tangy Orange, and then Orange Tang, the Vape Train. It's pretty much orange soda, basically.
So is the...
I got that Fizz Pop, the Capella Fizz Pop. It does nothing at all.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that it's just useless.
So is the Vape Train orange drink and Orange Tang the same thing?
I don't believe so.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are for sure.
I think some warehouse or whatever
Bull City labeled them wrong.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah, they're the same.
But it's still called Tangy Orange Drink from Bull City.
But on Vape Trains, it's Orange Tang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are the same thing though.
Yeah, okay. Because I think Bull City just doesn't put the word Tang in there. I don't. Maybe it's for a copyright issue or something.
They call it Tangy Orange Drink.
Tangy, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Theo was saying that they do that sometimes just because they're afraid of, like, when you cross the countries or whatever, that they might get lost in translation what it's supposed to be.
Right. Yeah.
That sounds phenomenal, though, Graham. The orange combination.
Oh, and the Swedish Fish. That's super accurate. Swedish Fish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm becoming a very big fan of that and 27 Bears. I'm a little late on the candy game.
The candy game, yeah. I'm trying to finish like 5 different candies I've been working for the last month.
But, yeah, I worked on something that actually, it looked really good. Cocan made something with 27 Bears and Inawera and TFA Dragon Fruit. And I really liked it, and I wanted an excuse to actually try all those flavors and also try out that pina colada candy. And it was pretty damn good. I actually really like it like that. I didn't try the real thing. Sorry, Cocan. I just took all your percentages.
A lot of pineapple in the...
Yeah. Fuck yeah, it does. And there's I think the only thing in the pina colada candy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of it in there. Which, with all the dragon fruit and everything, it's a little too much pineapple. And I also want to drop down the TFA dragon fruit because it's just a little too cloying. But not by a whole lot. Actually, probably by a whole lot. I think he used it pretty high, and I want to use it at like 1% instead of like 2.7. I think he uses it really high, actually. Like close to 3 or 4%.
Yeah, for the candy game, I would just say do the 27 Bears, 27 Fish, and then every Wonder Flavors candy that exists, minus Dweeb's candy, because Emily says it's the worst.
Yeah, it's not great, but you know what is great is the Pixie Stick.
Pixie Stick. All of the Wonder Flavors candy outside of that are stupid good.
Yeah, I actually ordered like another 30 mil of the Pixie Stick because that's working for the Fun Dip completely. It's kind of grapey. A lot of their candies are grape. Have you noticed that? Like they're more geared toward like they could go any way, I guess, if you pushed them, but like they really go grape.
I know what you mean. Yeah, they really work with grape because they have that. It's not like a citrusy style. It's more of that sort of dark candy,
like a sugar, you know.
Yeah, which grape
exactly.
pairs so perfectly with that.
But you put the fizzy sherbet with the grape, with the Pixie Stick, and with a little bit of the citrus soda. Goddamn, Fun Dip. And then they have the stick, the candy stick,
the chalk stick.
Yep. Very
accurate. I just think you're saying chopstick.
Like, Dave was going off about that candy stick flavor. He said it's so fucking accurate to the Wonder Flavors or the Fun Dip stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like a vanilla hard candy, right? Something like that.
Is that what it is? Is it vanilla?
I don't know if it's vanilla.
Identify it.
It's like
it might be.
It's like packed sugar. I don't know.
It might be like powdered sugar. You know, like a powdered, like a pressed. Yeah, like
confectioner sugar or something.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
Packed. It does taste like that, but
it might be vanilla.
I don't know.
Dave,
it could be vanilla. I don't know.
I know it triggers a fucking response, though. I know that.
Dave, I need you to clarify for us what makes it a stick. Like, what is the flavor that makes it read stick from a Fun Dip?
You can't really describe it, dude.
Oh, Dave can describe anything.
I don't know if he can. I'd be very impressed if he can do that. Because
you're about to be very impressed.
I think you just say it's that stick you remember when you were a kid. Takes you back to your stroller.
Right, but if you can smell it and immediately identify that this is the stick from Fun Dip, then it can't be just sugar because just sugar is just sweet. It doesn't have like a distinct thing.
You know, if you think about it, to me, it's kind of like a Certs without the mini stuff in Certs. It's just that white candy. I don't know what it is.
So then that's probably a small amount of vanilla, right?
Yeah,
that's what they usually use for those mints. Yeah, hint of vanilla, Dave said.
Yeah.
Benzoyl sorbate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Isn't it just like chemicals?
Yeah, just chemicals and then a tiny hint of vanilla, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Have you tried the sour gummy candy from Wonder Flavors?
Mm-hmm.
The sour gummy candy? Yeah.
Right. I have a recipe with Flavora grape, sour gummy candy, and vanilla syrup. It's very simple, but it's delicious.
Dope.
Cool.
That one is very good.
We got 2 questions in the chat. First one, does anyone have an MTL/pod recipe to give to someone that's trying to quit smoking to try for the first time?
Yes.
Magna Carta.
Oh, yeah. If you want something candy-like, yeah, you should probably check that one out.
What do you got, Max?
I think I used 10%. Here, let me pull it up. It was 10% RY4 double, 0.3% Flavora Connecticut Shade. Let me find it. And that's it.
10%. Let me look it up. What is this? Yeah, that's it.
Sweet and simple.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just went to make something that, because in a pod you don't really want any kind of darker flavors because it's just going to be gunky and you're going to go through that pod like you're going to probably fill it up like 2 times and that's it. So the best thing that I could try to tell you is use the brightest flavors that you can, or use the most like prominent and like robust flavors that you can, but make sure they're clear and no sucralose, no sugar, no anything, because they're gonna gunk up, and I don't care that they're low wattage or anything, they're gonna get destroyed. So
you tried out working with Turkish too, right? You said it didn't work very well.
You know, it's weird because I tried that all the way up to 5% and it still wasn't really that noticeable in there. And TFA RY4 double is really not gross in a pod, which to me it is really gross unless you really work with it. It's pretty gross in like a RDA or anything like that. So I went with that, and I like Connecticut Shade, and it'll show up like at 0.25% or anything like that. It'll still show up, and it just kind of gives it like a little bit of a cigar kind of a taste, but it's also a little bit dirty, but not in a gross way. But there's probably other things you could add to it, like dirty neutral base. Even though it is a little darker, it doesn't really gunk up too bad, and that would also kind of make that tobacco a little bit more in there. But also FE tobaccos work pretty good because they're all really, really clear, but you're going to have to crank them up.
And try not to use many flavors for a pod recipe.
Yeah, that's why mine's only 2.
If you go to the
Yeah, one of my favorite pod recipes that I tried like when I first got a pod just to try something was like 8% LA lemonade and 4% shisha strawberry from Inawera. That's it. And then WS23. And it was pretty good for a strawberry lemonade.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. I would definitely suggest you like get some WS23 if you don't have it and use that in all of your pod. Like if you're going for a fruity pod recipe, definitely put it in there.
You have to put it in there because a fruit recipe in a pod is like an incomplete experience.
Yeah,
it's like hollow. And I am a fruity pod. And then Dusty Federhoff wants to know what's the easiest way to get a percentage range for flavors.
That's all you. I know that you follow concrete.
Yes. So the way I did it when I first started, because I started out single flavor testing just an obnoxious amount of flavors. And there's a single flavor testing guide on Reddit that Concrete River put on there. And that was like, I followed it religiously. He has percentage ranges for every company. And you just follow that and try them out if you want, or just throw them in mixes at those percentages if you don't want to single flavor test. But it never let me down.
Max.
Or you could just, another way is just go to ATF, search for the flavor you want to use, and follow the percentage that everyone else is using.
Yeah, look at like specific recipes because some of them will use them really low and they make sense there, and some will use it really high, but don't go off of all the high ones. Try to understand why they mix those ones up so you understand why they're used high, and basically just mix up things and try those out first if they're in line with the same kind of profile that you're going after.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Graham?
I'm wondering how Max single flavor test. I heard he touches it until it feels right. It's just what I heard.
I basically what I do is I'll smell them and then I'll knuckle test and then I'll go, let's get weird. And I'll just
What kind of knuckle test you're thinking?
And I'll just throw it in something that will not work. But that's what I actually, another good thing, try to make 1, 2, 3s. Like if you don't know what those are, Dave basically made that up where you use 3 different flavors at 1%, 2%, and 3%. And that can really help you to start off a recipe. But like, if you're like, well, I want to use this at 1, don't use it at 1. It's just it provides a little bit of a layout for you. And you can really complete like a recipe by doing that.
I actually know of quite a few people that did start that exact way. Is they would do a 1, 2, 3 with 3 random flavors that they had that they thought might work, and then just start switching out one of those flavors every time you do an iteration. Just see what happens if you take out the raspberry and put a strawberry and find out how they work together. And I thought that was like really smart to do.
Yeah, it's a really good way to actually make like recipe development and everything. Like when well, I want to use this at 1% just for the sake of using a 1, 2, 3, but it would work better at 0.25. And then you at least know, where to go from there. And, this would make that better. This would complete this. And then you have a full recipe. And you already worked out all the layers in your head and everything like that.
You trying to tell me Dave made up counting?
Yeah,
he did actually. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
That cranberry Sprite started it all.
I knew
he invented counting.
Talented.
All right. Dusty says he has Flavora, Liquid Barn, and Wonder flavors. So the Flavora around 2%, Liquid Barn around 8%, and Wonder flavors around 3%, and go from there.
Yeah, try rich cinnamon at 2%.
There are a few Flavora exceptions: rich cinnamon, alpine strawberry, smooth vanilla that you just want to use 0.25%.
Yeah.
Can you let my jokes sink in, Alfred? For Christ's sake, give it no time for give it no laugh time whatsoever. We're waiting for everyone to calm down.
Are we talking about the counting joke?
Into it, yeah.
Yeah, no, the counting joke just wasn't good.
Fucking phenomenal.
Dave said,
Graham, if there's someone that will appreciate your humor, it's me. You know that. But this one I wasn't feeling it.
Well, I mean, whatever. Swinging for the.
You gotta swing for the fences. Shoot for the stars. That's all you gotta do. But it boils down to do whatever you want. If you want a single flavor test, do it. If you don't, if you want to go off how they smell, do that. If you want to go off what other people are doing, do that. It's all up to you, man. Just enjoy it. That's all that matters. And then Dave also invented the internet. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's working on a cure for windmill cancer too. Didn't know that was a huge problem.
Yeah, so earlier we were talking about IDE flavors, which I had never heard of.
Give your joke a fucking minute either. You see that? He's sailed right over it. This guy gives no fucking laugh time.
I was explaining windmill.
Busting a gut. I'm busting a gut from Max's thing, and the next thing you know, we're on the next topic.
Oh boy.
All right, I'll wait for you, Graham.
Everybody,
I'm done. That right there, you could have went over. Fuck.
Oh my God! Are we going to talk about Teleos the milk?
We probably should.
Just for an explanation real quick for the windmill cancer, we were talking about IDE flavors. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but Dave said not to use them because they will give you windmill cancer.
They will give you what kind of cancer?
Windmill cancer.
Windmill cancer. What the hell is that?
Nothing is giving anything cancer at all that we have anything to do with it. No, there's no cancer, none of that.
Can we not like?
We don't want to revisit that. All right.
None of that.
We don't want another live show where we like every live show we talk about cancer. It's fucking sad. Come on now.
All right, let's talk about Teleos. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Teleos gives you cancer.
So we. Oh my God. No, it doesn't. It doesn't give you. It doesn't give you cancer. So
well, we don't know.
Well, probably not.
Well, we don't know. The information's not there.
Probably not.
Graham, that was beautiful.
So this is Teleos the milk. This is part 2 actually, where we try to tackle Teleos the milk. Let me bring up the recipe right quick. So, what did y'all think about the first version that we made, or the first episode that we made? What we ended up with? What did
so the first episode, the consensus was to try to find a replacement for Flavor West Fruity Flakes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a big mistake on our part.
I think it can be done, but it can't if you're going to try and remix the milk.
Right, yeah, which we were trying to do originally is get as close as possible, and you need the Fruity Flakes.
For sure, for sure. Because I'm certain that that's what they're using.
Yeah. At this point, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
But that being said, the first episode did have a lot of useful information that we ended up using. Like the New York cheesecake that Folkart tried, that was perfect, and we ended up using that again. And then the cake batter percentage and fruity flake percentage that I used that were lower it was similar to the original, so we ended up using that. So it wasn't a waste of time. We gathered a lot of information.
And basically, Max is milk based too, right? So
I think so.
Yeah. So it was kind of all of us.
Yeah, I just want to say
though, it's great.
Yeah, I just want to say though, that is not like a milk base that will only really work for like a cereal milk, and especially like with this kind of a cereal milk where there's not a whole lot of texture going on. I wouldn't try to use this and try to make whole milk out of it.
And if you want to get the cereal to come through, that much vanilla swirl will not allow it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
what go ahead.
Now,
what I think is that batter needs a lot of steep, like a few weeks to steep right. Because to blend with the other heavy grains, it's going to be very different in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Graham mentioned this about Teleos the milk. He thought that they really did a really long steep time on that e-liquid, and I believe he's right because it is, to me, it is pretty smooth, and I think this recipe needs maybe even a month steep.
Yeah, I would say like I think they're doing a really long time on that because it is smooth, but it's smooth like in a different way than any other kind of like e-liquid is. Like it's just like a whole different like texture. I don't know. I can't figure out what they're doing besides letting it steep. I mean, they may be jamming like a bunch of like chemicals in it, but I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the original one, and that shit is really, really dark.
Yeah.
So it definitely has sat around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But for the latest version, we ended up going back to the kind of original plan, and we used the Fruity Flakes, the cake batter, cupcake batter, and then we used Max's milk base, which took some information from mine, the vanilla swirl usage, and Folkart's New York cheesecake usage, and I think we made easily a better version.
Yeah, they're not 1-to-1. It's just heavily it's just adapted, really. There are a lot of the same kind of notes. I just think that a lot of aspects of it are better. Like it's got a better brown sugar in my opinion. It's got a better cream in my opinion. The cereal is spot on the same, and it has the same off note that I don't like.
So what is the off note that you're getting with the original?
That'd be cupcake batter.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's in there, but I'm pretty sure that that's what they're using. After all of the testing that we did, it's definitely something from Capella, and I cannot figure out what else it could be other than cupcake batter. I've tried it's not lemon meringue pie, it's not sugar cookie, it's not vanilla custard. If you try both of them, and if you try the original and then you try our recipe, you'll probably see what we're talking about with that cake batter in there, and it's kind of I don't know why it's in there.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like it in there. I do see what you're saying about the off note, though. I'm hoping that that's going to steep out, the more it steeps, but we'll see. But it's got it's got every single note that Teleos does, and I think it's a little bit better. So,
well, I was gonna say, because I finished our version after letting it steep for a while, and then I finished the Teleos the milk, the one you sent over, and there's an off note that I get from the original that is pretty gross, and we don't have it in our version.
Yeah.
So that makes me very happy.
And what do you think that would be?
Well, we will debate on this until we're done, because I swear it's cream cheese icing.
It could be. I don't know. I do like your versions, the one that you gave me with it in there, but I don't get the same. Actually, I have yours.
Well, that's where I use the toasted marshmallow in there too, and like Folkart was saying, they kind of blend into one thing that makes the cream cheese icing not as bad as it would have been. Unfortunately, though, I just made something the other day on Reddit, and I tried to do that same trick with LA cream cheese icing and toasted marshmallow. Didn't work. Did not make the off note go away at all. I made them about 10 times worse.
Really? That's
I have no idea why it worked so well in my first version of Teleos. Maybe it's another flavor we used too, working with them. But yeah, I tried it, the toasted marshmallow cream cheese icing, and it was disgusting.
Do you think that the limiting note from whatever we were using for the cereal kind of masked that?
That could be it, actually. Yeah. The Fruity Flakes might cover that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. That's probably exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I do have to say, though, that there is like another off note I get from both of them, and it's kind of a bitterness. And I didn't really expect that, and it doesn't really show up until probably around 3 or 4 days, and it's in both of them.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that the other day. I think it might be the Fruity Flakes.
Yeah, it's kind of got a bitter edge.
And you're right, you don't notice it as a shake and bake, but after a while it comes out in both of the versions.
Right.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad in any way, but it's there.
Yeah, if you're a mixer and you're looking for off notes and you're trying to like really craft something, you're gonna pick that out. You're probably gonna play around with stuff and try to fix it, but it's in there. It's not really something we could. It's close to the original, and that's what we tried to do.
Yeah. So are we going to sometime later down the road make our version of a cereal milk?
Yeah, I believe that we're actually going to try to make what it's based off of, the actual milk, where it's just sugar, brown sugar, whole milk, and cereal, Fruity Pebbles, and they just strain that out and you just drink the milk.
Yeah.
Which is not even close to this.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
No, because this is mostly cake batter, which is definitely not in the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we didn't even use a lot. And it's there. But I do also, there's a couple things that I do want to say about our version and the original. They didn't use as many flavors, let's be honest.
No.
They didn't use as many. And there's probably 100,000 more ways to have tackled this with different percentages and different flavors and everything. This is what we came up with and what we thought made it just a little bit better, but still had the same kind of flavor profile that they went with.
So, yeah, where we got to the fact that, like Folkart was saying, if you use cake batter at that percentage and Fruity Flakes at that percentage, do whatever you want with the milk, and you're going to get 80 to 90% done.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Because obviously they didn't use FA Bavarian Cream, because that came out in the last probably 6 months or so. And they probably used something like TFA Bavarian Cream, some kind of version with that, and we just decided not to go that direction.
Yeah, because
I'm using TPA Bavarian Cream, and it is really good. There is no big difference. When you have all those creams, there is no difference between FA and TPA.
Yeah, they're not very different at all. FA is just a little bit better, if you ask me personally, but you could use them interchangeably. And they definitely, yeah, Emily said they did not use one-on-one cream milky undertones. That is a fact.
Yeah, absolutely.
That being said, though, I'm more than happy with the version we made. I think it is pretty it's a replica of the original, but it is better.
Yeah,
and that's what we were going for.
You know, that's something that I try to do when I'm trying to clone something. Is I really don't care to find out exactly what they use. If I can find 2 or 3 of the similar notes that they're using, then you know the other parts of it, I don't care that they didn't use FA Bavarian cream or one-on-one cream. It's just that's what fits best in the mix that I'm mixing up to match what they did. So if you can, you know, whenever you're doing a clone, just try to pick out 2, 3 of the notes that you're pretty sure is in there, and then try to build around it instead of trying to get exactly what they're doing because you'll never do it. It's just impossible.
All right, Nachef, we need a translator. You have the chat popped up?
Yeah, I'm trying to answer.
Okay.
But,
But so we're all happy with it. So that is our final version of the Teleos the Milk clone. That's the one that we think is pretty spot on to the original and better. And so the next time we visit this profile, it'll be to try to make the real thing from Max's experience of trying it.
With no off notes.
Yes, with 0 off notes or cake batter.
Yeah.
You want to talk about what we're working on next?
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't there for the recording, so y'all guys just take it away.
Yeah. Well, I say we let Nachef. He's new. And he's the one that had the idea.
I was at the end of the recording.
It doesn't matter. You're the one with the profile, man.
Yeah, I know. We were trying to make a clerico, which is a white wine with fruits, with like pieces of fruit, not fruit juice. And you can make it with white wine or cider. We were trying to do that. And we came up with something very unusual, but that works. I don't know why, but it works.
Yeah. So we had a guest come in, and he rocked my world. It's the strangest and makes 0 sense mix I've ever seen in my life.
Can we really call him a guest at this point? Like he's been there so many times. We're talking about Jerry, everybody. Jerry has been on the show, I think, 3 or 4 times now, and every time it's just great to work with that guy.
Yeah, he's really knowledgeable.
Yeah, but the idea for the profile is basically it's sangria, right? But with white wine or cider instead of like a red wine, a darker liquid.
And a lot of the recipes are totally different fruits. Like it's almost like whatever you have on hand, work with it. And I don't know. We kind of went after what we saw most commonly being used and tried to hit the same kind of notes and everything like that. But
and verdict is, though, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's already phenomenal. It just needs a little bit more work probably, but I'm really, really happy with it. And it is, like I said, the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. It'll be interesting how it does sit, because I have a couple questions about that, but time will tell.
We're out of time, speaking of time. So everyone, we will talk to you later. We love you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Y'all have a good rest of the week. See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.
Deuces.